Well, good morning from rainy Winnipeg. The weather is foul, and if you happen to be a fowl, like a duck, you probably like it. The good news is that this rain we're getting is melting the snow. Bad news is that we didn't get to see the sunrise this morning. Yeah, well, yesterday I did get back to the model table. Didn't do very much, but we got our little propeller painted black. And yeah, there's no use talking about it here now. Let's just roll back and you'll see how we got to this place, and then we'll continue on and we'll find our yellow, which is somewhere over there. I know I probably only used a drop of it in the past, so we should have lots of yellow for the tips. If not, then we can use gold, right? I think yellow would be better, more realistic. Anyway, let's roll back and have a look-see. Okay, what I've done here is something that would be pretty hard to show you on camera, and that is that I touched up places on the engine around the cylinders where I'd missed when I was editing out the last scene there. I could see that I'd missed places, and it's funny. I see a lot of stuff like that when I'm editing out, and I can actually see it on the computer better than I can when I'm trying to do it, with the macro lens looking at it. And I was able to actually get in there very, very carefully from the front just a little bit. But I don't think that the front of the cylinders is going to be seen because the top wing is sort of covering it, unless you get right down and look in. The motor itself is mainly seen from the back. Okay. I'm going to give this about half an hour at least to dry. Maybe I'll put it in front of some forced air, some warm forced air like an electric heater, and we've got about 3 hours yet this evening before I start getting too tired to do anything, and then maybe we'll try and paint the blades black. I don't know if I should paint them gloss black or maybe that's not a good idea. I don't know if I've even got any gloss black. I know I got flat black, and yeah. Let's give it about half an hour. Now it might be a little bit hard to see, but if you look closely, you can see that the people at Trumpeter actually made this propeller with a bit of a pitch on the blade. Yeah, there actually is a pitch on it. In other words, the blade would have to turn this way to push the plane forward. And being as that these blades are angled, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint the underside of each blade first. Try not to touch anything like the bracing or anything like that. A blade like this will be quite easy to paint underneath. I think all four of them are going to be easy to paint from the top. I'm just doing a dry run here. Now this one's going to be, excuse me, a little bit more difficult. But I don't accidentally touch the fuselage here. I think in order to get to the underside of the tip, I'm going to have to get very close to the fuselage. Well, we'll do that one last. We'll have the other three to practice on. And excuse me, the paint that I'm going to be using here is this NATO black. It's a flat paint. I just shook it up. Okay, this is the easiest one. I'm just going to do the underside. Nobody's going to really be seeing that anyway. And then this one here. Now I know we can't see how it's going, but I'm pretty sure we're getting it. Now maybe to get the underside of this one on the tip, I'll just go right here. And then come in from the other side. I believe I'm getting it. Okay, as near as I can tell, I haven't touched any of the silver paint, or the aluminum. And then the last one here. Or did we do this one already? I don't think so. Okay. Now maybe I'll put the macro lens on for the to do the tops. And I'm going to try and get as close as I can in to the hub as possible. And I realize now that I made a bit of a mistake there, painting it the gray. I should have left it silver. But then on the other hand, it would be pretty hard to try and. Oh, I wonder if I could just. As long as I got the brush here. Okay, I'll stick the macro lens on for the other three. Now I have better luck painting something like this if I use this brush, because what I can do is I can come right up to the hub and then draw back, and generally it will paint in one pass. So okay, I've sampled some paint here, and I'm just going to go over this blade that we did. Go up to the hub. Now we're going to turn. We're going to go. I got a hair sticking out there. Maybe I should turn this, because that hair might drag against the fuselage. I made it. I think I did anyway. Now I realize you can't see it, but and the last one. Okay, let's just let those dry now. And what time we got here? You know, it's 1 minute after 8 right now. I think maybe we should leave this for the morning to do the yellow tips. Yeah, I think we kind of got it. I think it'll look okay once it's dry. Although this one here looks like it could use some more. It's kind of looks like got a little bit of a bare spot there. I don't know if that made it better or worse. That's the one that people are going to see the most because it's sticking up. Okay, I think we got it now. Yeah, let's just let that dry. Okay, we'll see how it is in the morning. Okay, we have found the yellow. Flat yellow, XF3. And I think we should put our macro lens back on. I got a comment this morning that I read just a few minutes ago, actually, and the viewer says he has to keep reminding himself just how small everything is here. Yeah, that micro lens is very deceiving. And as I've said 100 times, you see every mistake, every flaw. So as I've said before as well, why use it then? I don't know. Anyway, let's get our macro lens on and move right in on our propeller and try and very delicately get this yellow on the tips. I think we will. I gotta go shake it up yet. Now, a moment ago when I was zooming in on our little yellow jar here when it was in the paint shaker, I was thinking how handy it would be if they made a macro lens that zoomed. But as far as I know, there is nothing. And if there was, I imagine it would be very expensive. But it would be handy. Anyway, let's get our lid off here and get our magnification hood on, and I'm hoping I've got everything set up so that I'll be able to do all 4 blades and have you be able to watch. Yeah, I think that's going to work out okay. We'll start with the one closest to the fuselage here. Okay, we are here on B&H's website. Now, I've had really good luck with B&H over the last few years. I probably ordered, I'm guessing without checking my records, probably 10 orders, some of them big, some of them small. I think probably the most expensive one was my fisheye lens that I use occasionally. Anyway, here we are, and they are sort of got a lens here that might work with my Nikon camera. Now, it's got the, down here you'll notice the format, it says DX. Well, my Z9 is an FX. In other words, the sensor is bigger. So that would mean that the image focused on the sensor in my camera would be smaller on the sensor, but it would sort of work. Now it could be that somebody's making a lens that would have the FX format. Anyway, excuse me, I'm getting into a lot of detail here that nobody really cares about, and yeah, I just thought I'd let you know I did check it out. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna look into that and just see what the YouTubers have to say about this lens. Undoubtedly, there will be reviews. Okay, let's get back to our yellow-tipped propeller. Okay, we're going to want to get just a little bit on the end of the brush here. That wasn't a little bit. Okay, story of my life here. Now, trying to steady myself. Don't want to be touching the back of the plane here. Just want to get a little bit on the end there. Okay, I think that's about the right amount. I don't know, my brush seems to be drying out on the end there. That looks pretty good. Now, this one here, maybe I should go just a tiny bit more. Now, at arm's length, we're not going to see it, right? Now I'm hoping that I'm painting the back, because this blade will be seen quite readily from both all around. So I think we're getting it. Oh, I went up just a little bit further than I had planned. See how that looks there. Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, that's believable. If you don't look at it with a macro lens, it looks pretty good. Okay, I just looked at my monitor here. What's this on the end of the blade here? Is that a... Well, I got rid of it, kind of. Okay, yeah, that looks better. At first I thought I'd touched the back of the aircraft, but I didn't. It was something came off the end of the blade there. Okay, we're done. Okay, now let's turn this around so we can see the wheels. Now, UK Jason made a comment that makes a lot of sense. Now, speaking of making a lot of sense, I remembered to put the lid on our cap, but I obviously forgot to clean the brush. Probably about an hour has passed here now, so I'm going to have to get the Windex out. I'll have to show you how good the Windex works on something like this. Anyway, Jason was mentioning that instead of painting the tires black like I had been talking about, paint them a dark gray. In that way, the contrast against the silver or aluminum colored airplane is not going to be so noticeable. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the number 77 here. I think that'd be about the best. That's kind of a dark gray. On the other hand, I could. Where's that 56 that nobody likes? That might work. No, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good for. That wouldn't look like rubber. Yeah, we're gonna use the 77. Anyway, let's get the Windex out and see if we can clean this brush here. That was stupid. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you noticed it, but over here in the surveillance monitor, right there, there's a little rabbit eating my carrots that I put out this morning. Okay, now we got the rabbit segment in. I don't need to do anything about that later. Now, speaking of UK Jason, apparently you can't get this stuff in the United Kingdom. And I know we've had this conversation before, and I think it's probably because it contains ammonia, and it's possible that products that contain ammonia are not allowed in the UK. I'm just guessing. It doesn't say ammonia on it. It used to years ago. It used to say with ammonia. Now it just says original, and but it still works the same. So if it's the original, it has to have the ammonia. They probably took the word ammonia out there because they wanted to be ecologically friendly or something like that. I don't know, or sound that they were. Anyway, if I do read all the ingredients on there, it seems to me I did find a word that sort of sounded like ammonia. Anyway, we're beating this to death, aren't we? Let's put our macro lens on here and zoom right in and watch how it dissolves this dried out yellow. Okay, let's try not to bump everything out of the field of view here. Now, it could well be that you know, something like the Tamiya paint thinner or isopropyl or something like that might also work well. But I have found that for some reason this Windex works the best. Now, I usually what I do is I'll take the brush and I will turn it like this after I'm through, or before I'm through rather, and just sort of separates the bristles. No, I know that it does look like there's still some on there. I'm bumping it away, aren't I? Okay, it's becoming very cloudy. But anyway, you get the idea. It works really well, trust me. Now, this one is going to be the easy wheel. The other one is sort of up against that piece of sprue that we got glued into the wing. Now, before we get going here, I want to do my perspective thing here, just to keep you in mind here, so when things go horribly awry, you'll know, well, it's really tiny, what do you expect, right? All right, so now, from what I remember from photographs and drawings, just trying to sample a little bit of the paint here. From the photographs and drawings, the tire was actually quite narrow. It would be what we call today a low profile tire. Trying not to get on the hub because I don't have to repaint that, and yet that might be the easiest way to go. Just paint the whole thing gray, and then it would be a lot easier maybe just to paint the center. Not really coming at it from the right angle. I know it looks good from the bottom, but it's only going to be viewed from the top. Let's let that dry and see what we got. And as far as the other one in the back here, I'm going to have to wait, I guess, until I get this thing broken off. Anyway, thanks for the tip there, Jason. Good idea. We are mounted on our back on this block of wood. Underneath there is blue tack. You can't really see it too good. And I'm going to use the extra thin regular. And I'm hoping it's not going to run all over the place. Maybe I should have the macro lens on for this, right? Just try and soften that a bit. I am going to have to repaint anyway, I realize that. I don't seem to be getting very much on there. Maybe this thing is emptying out. Okay, I want to hold against myself here a little bit. Oh, that's really on there. That is really on there. I think I am going to have to go with my idea of using the Tamiya nipper. Yeah, I am going to have to use the nipper and just slice it off. as close as I can to the wing, and being as it is only seen from the top anyway, I don't think anybody's going to notice that I did that stupid thing. Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, you know. I won't do that again with the aircraft on the Iowa. I think there's 4 aircraft that we make on the Iowa. Well, the plan is going to lay the nipper flush with the bottom of the wing and then just slowly squeeze and hope that it doesn't pull the plastic right through from the top of the other side. I've got to be careful how I hang on to this. I've already broken loose one of the struts. I think it's this one right here. I might have to re-glue that later. I'm going to give this some thought, and we'll go at this in tomorrow's episode, or later this afternoon for me. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.